It's already on. Well, we're back. It's been 6 months, but we're back. And, I had walked away, not because I felt creatively distanced or anything, just because I didn't have time, and no one was watching, so who cares. But, they pulled me back in. I thought I was out, and they pulled me back in. You may be wondering, Kyle, what could this return, this season 2, have in store? Well, that's a great question. I don't have anything planned out yet. But I do have this. Welcome to Unskripted Christmas 2. Christmas in June. Da 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 da. Plan on this. You're no longer gonna be the plan I'm missing. I won't ever let you down, but just in case, can we do Christmas in June? Well, oh my God, how lucky am I to have two things that I love? Well, it makes it that much easier to screw things up. I hate to do this, don't wanna lose this. Can we do Christmas in June? It is July 6th as I'm recording this. And I'm not a huge Christmas person. I don't remember if I showed this very much in the last Christmas special. I don't do Christmas in October. Like when I work for Christmas, I don't start that. I don't do this whole Christmas in July thing usually. But they forced my hand. Let me get some context here. Tubi is a free streaming service that has a wide variety of movies. Usually bad. I think movies that I've found on Tubi that I've done on Unskripted include The Little Ghost, and I think that's it. I think that's the only movie I actually got around to recording on Tubi. There's a lot of garbage I had planned when I was using season 1 though. Alpha and Omega 4 is on Tubi at one point. But I want to be very clear here. There's a lot of good stuff on Tubi. I haven't seen these, but just like big name blockbusters. Hunger Games trilogy was on there for a little bit, or quadrilogy, I don't remember. Hangover maybe, Snakes on a Train or Plane, or wherever, I don't know. There was a lot of good content on Tubi. The problem is, it's not there very long. Hunger Games was specifically there for a singular month, if that. So it's really a blink and you miss it kind of service. But it's free, you're not paying anything. So why not have it downloaded on your phone? I have it downloaded on my phone. Get a couple commercials here and there, but you know what? I'm not paying, so who cares? I'll take the commercials. But recently I saw an Instagram ad, and I couldn't believe it. It said Tubi had released an original movie. Already shocking enough. Then I saw it was a Christmas movie, even more shocking, as the date it was released was June 18th of 2021. Now, if I would have known earlier than June 18th that it was coming out, this video would have been done for Christmas in June. However, nobody told me, so I found out on June 27th, and by that time it was far too late. So here we are in early July, celebrating Christmas. I don't have my little pumpkin friend. I need to get a pumpkin friend, just have all year round. But I don't have him. I just have me in an Emerald Apple shirt that I bought at Goodwill, and then Sharpied over with the Emerald Man logo. I should probably censor that word. I don't know if I can say that word, the S word. The D word owns that word, and oh. Anyway, let's talk about A Chance for Christmas, shall we? It's weird. On one hand, you expect it to be awful. And I already didn't like Palm Springs for being just a Groundhog's Day ripoff. So, when I saw the trailer for this movie and realized they were doing Groundhog's Day but from Christmas,
Oh no. Don't you get it? We are groundhogging it.
I was pretty skeptical. Again, to be original Christmas movie, Groundhog's Day. 3 things that shouldn't make a good movie. Let's just add on the fact that it seemed like a Hallmark movie, and you have a recipe for disaster. But honestly, this movie wasn't terrible. Look, it wasn't great, but I'm going to paint it in a lot better light than you probably should think of. But I was really pleasantly surprised. Like, again, you have to consider it's one of 2 Tubi originals I can find. The other one being what seemed to be some sort of horror movie. I don't know. I literally saw it on my recommended trying to find this Christmas one, which I could not find for the life of me, by the way. I had to search it up. But it was surprisingly good. The story was interesting. Again, a little bit overdone, but the characters weren't boring. There was some really, really good acting, specifically from this girl, and there was some other acting, specifically from this guy. But I guess let's recap the movie. It begins on a YouTube video filmed by clearly out-of-touch executives.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I think that's the biggest fault this movie has, is that none of the people making it knew how to do social media, and it hinges on social media. Because when they're doing the YouTube video at the beginning, I think it was link in bio, and I went, that's not a thing YouTube does. Yes, YouTube has channel bios. I can't think of the last time anyone used those. 2014, 13, something like that. And then later on they're doing a Twitch stream and they say, I don't remember what they say, but it was like an Instagram thing again, or a YouTube thing maybe. Link in the description, I think. And it was like, that's not a thing you say. They didn't really seem to know what was going on. So, we'll keep that in mind. But the plot is, this one 30, 40-year-old woman, mother of 2, is a social media star, and she's trying to get a brand deal with a cooking company, unclear, house goods company. And so they task her to do a live stream for them on Christmas Eve, and she has to get 2 million views. And then on her first attempt, she fails hard, and she gets like 40 million, 400 million maybe. And then Santa curses her, and one of the executives, in the fictional, not one of the executives making the movie, like one of the company executives in the movie, and he curses those 2 to live the day over and over again until they get what they deserve, or what they need. Some Joker-ass shit. Shoot, I don't cuss on this show. Screw it, I'll leave it in. Anyway, how else do I describe this plot? Where else do I go? So they relive the day over and over again, trying to get to 2 million views. They get to 2 million views after like 70 attempts. They're really not good at their jobs. And like the whole thing is like, oh, it's Christmas Eve, no one will be watching. I'm thinking about it. I thought about this when I was watching it. I feel like, as someone who uses social media, I probably would have tuned in. Like, if you were someone I watched, and I was like, oh, a live stream, and I knew about it, like you advertised it beforehand, I'd probably tune into at least part of it, because they didn't need 2 million watchers the entire... We need to clarify a couple things. A, they were not doing a live stream all day. They would do, like, 10-minute advertisements, essentially like commercials, but without any filler in between. So they would film, like, a 10-minute live stream where they advertised this product for this company, and then they'd be like, we'll be right back in 20 minutes with our next live stream. And they do this consistently throughout the day on some sort of schedule. They always say, like, we'll be back in 10 minutes, but there's only, like, 5 live streams, and they go on through the entire span of the day, starting at 8 o'clock and ending after dark. And you just have to wonder, like, who wrote this? But anyway, they only needed 2 million views total. So if you tuned in to each live stream, I'm pretty sure that counts as 5 views, because they have a line in the beginning of the movie, before they get cursed by Santa, where they're like 400 million each, and he's like, no, 400 million total, and you're like, oh no. But anyway, like that's the idea. Okay, that's what we're playing with. That's the concept we're working with. So they literally live the day. They get 2 million views. They're like, oh, we did it. They get really drunk and they kiss or something. By the way, there's a love plot between these two, but it's not that interesting. It's not boring. It's just not that interesting. And they kiss. They wake up the next morning and they're like, oh, it's Christmas Day. And then they don't do the live stream. And then the kids are like, what the hell? Why didn't you wake us up for the live stream, Mom? And then the mom's like, no, it's Christmas now. We got the 2 million. And the kids are like, what the hell are you talking about, Mom? It's Christmas Eve. Are you going nuts? And so they relive the day. I think they eventually give up and they just kind of like chill out. They're like, oh, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And then they get what they need because they fall in love. And then there's a really emotional YouTube video that's portrayed like a Twitch stream, and she confesses her love to him, and then he doesn't see it, but then the executives above him call him, and they're like, oh my god, you did it. It wasn't the conventional method that we asked you to do, but you're not fired because you did 2 million. And it's like 5 million. It's like a viral video, essentially. And he doesn't see it, and then he sees it, and he runs to her. Boring ending. Santa uncurses them. They have a snowball fight. The kids like him in the end. It's a, cliche. But does that mean it wasn't a deserved ending? No. It was still really delightful to get there, and a lot less boring than I thought it would be. But anyways, where does that leave this overall? I ranked these? I don't remember. It's been too long since I've done it. Oh, I never got the chair. I was gonna do a new chair. For this stupid season. This isn't a bit. I forgot to grab the chair. Anyways. I'm rating them. Okay. Welcome to Ranking Podium. Is that what Welcome to Review Corner. I'm renaming this. No, everything's a review. I don't know. What did I call it last season? Put it on the screen. Woo! I don't have a lot of time to edit this. I have to be out in like a day and a half, and I work. Anyways, character development. I'm gonna give that a 4-star. That feels too generous. I feel like I'm gonna be too generous with this movie, and then all the actual good movies I watched this season are gonna compete with it. By the way, I'm resetting the list. So the list from last season is just from last season. Now, do you want to go and compare them? It's probably still gonna be pretty accurate. Like if you just slide this one in there, you probably could. But I'm not gonna do that. Mostly because then your screen's just gonna get too overwhelmed. You're not gonna be able to see anything. So we're restarting the list for season 2, and we're gonna start with character development on this one. I'm gonna give it a 3-star. I think it was good. It wasn't mind blowing. You could kind of tell a lot where it was going from the beginning. Again, it wasn't a spectacularly written movie. It just wasn't as bad as you think a Tubi original would be. But it was well earned, and some of them really, really well earned. Specifically, the one girl. Can I talk about her acting in particular? She did such a good job. That's what I'm gonna go with next. Acting. Acting is our next category. It's also gonna be a 3 out of 5. again, she does such a good job for a child actor in particular on a Tubi original. I was expecting garbage, and both the child actors are pretty good. She in particular, her performance stuck out with me the most. I haven't looked up her name yet. Here's her name. I'll put it on screen. But she did such a good job, and I hope she continues acting in like bigger stuff because, wow. On the other hand, this guy again didn't look up his name. You'd think I'd be prepared to make this video, but God knows I wasn't. But he's strange. I like watching him, and I like watching his character, but he'll have moments where, like, he's laughing, but, like, it's like, like he's being held hostage. Like, I don't understand who thought putting him as a main character would do for this movie, why it was a good idea, but it wasn't. And it's crazy to think that this guy was the worst actor, because I wasn't thinking he was going to be the best. He had some real good charisma, and he carries it through the movie. Just, he's got some weird choices, and I don't know if that's like the director, or if that's him, but it seemed like every time there was a weird moment, it was that guy. So I think it was that guy, whose name I refuse to learn, and we'll just call him that guy. Thank you. So 3 out of 5 on both categories. That leaves us with 6 out of 10. What do I want to put for the third category? I guess that just leaves it down to where do I want this to sit. I feel like a good 8 out of 15 was good. How do I get it there? Story. I could be like, oh, the story's cliche, so it gets less points. But it still felt like kind of new and interesting. I feel like that's where you want me to go, though, right? I feel like that's where you're expecting me to go. I want to take a plot twist here. I want to make my own plot twist. Timing. Timing's not a good one. It's not. I want to be clear here. It came out June 18th. This is not like a summer Christmas movie. It's not like, oh, it's June. It's Christmas Eve. They just want you to accept it's Christmas Eve. I think it was intended for this film to be out last Christmas, but then the P word, I can't say that word either, not because the company will sue me, but because the event that went on for the past year and a half, pretty sure YouTube still censors that word. So I'm going to say the P word. But, this movie was shot basically entirely in one location, with not a whole lot more than 7 or 8 people. Like, there's some extras, but there's not a whole lot of... Sorry. Anyway, what were we talking about? Extras. So, pretty sure it was not intended for this movie to come out this late. I think it got pushed back because of the P word. But that was talking about timing being the third category. It's not the third category anymore. I'm just going to call the third category plot holes. And you definitely don't want plot hole stars. Plot hole stars. No, you do want plot hole stars. Plot hole stars are good because it means you don't have any plot holes. What the heck? Maybe continuity errors is a better name for this category. Couple things. A, nobody knew what social media was writing this movie. I remember being multiple times being like, that's not how social media works. That's the wrong platform. You just heard something, you were parroted it. Like in the beginning when they do the link in bio thing for a YouTube video, you're just parroting what you heard on Twitch. Or not what you heard on Instagram. Anyways, there's another scene in this movie. So the real Santa curses them, and then the real Santa comes back for the second and maybe third Christmas before they, like, yell at him. And I want to be clear. It is a curse. Like, he does hate them. They get really mad. They did not ask for this, and he curses them with it anyway. And then he's real, like, oh, you should have been careful what you wish for.
Careful. Christmas wishes have a way of coming true.
It's like, oh, it's not what they wish for, but whatever. But then he stops showing up because they yell at him, so that instead of him, the Santa they hire is like this, like really bad Santa, like impersonator, and there's one scene in the movie where they show him on like a sleigh with reindeer, but instead, like they only show like 2 reindeer, so you think like, oh, you could hire 2 like actual animals for that. This social media influencer is rich, and this company is richer, and if you wanted to promote your stuff, that would be how to do it, right? You'd be like, hey, we're gonna give you a couple reindeer to work with, or the budget for a couple reindeer, right? You gonna play with a little bit of budget, right? No, nobody does that. They are Santa on a sleigh, and then the sleigh is attached to 2 people dressed in like reindeer onesies. I really hope I can find a picture. Here's a picture if I could. Blew my mind. Who let this happen? Who let this happen? This is, when I thought of extras, I think of this. This scene is one of the only scenes I can remember from this movie. It is, again, pretty cliche, a little bit forgettable, but just I remember it being a good time, and I had my notes down, and I went, oh yeah, this is all fun. What is this? So no, it's getting a 2 stars for continuity errors. Is that what I call this? Yeah. So that's 8 stars. You might be thinking, Kyle, you forced that to be 8 stars. You could have made it 9 or 10. You think too much about this. This part of the show was always scripted until now. This is actually me making it up on the spot, trying to force it into a number. A quick editor's note. This is entirely unrelated to the quality or content of the movie, but there's one shot toward the end when they're doing like the whole "I love you" confession video, where they show a shot of the camera, and I saw this again in another Instagram ad, maybe it's a YouTube ad actually, for some Shudder movie about a live streaming exorcist, and they also had like a very similar shot of like this camera, and they both reminded me very similarly to Bo Burnham's Inside. And I want to be very clear. I understand these are both probably filmed and completed movies before that came out, but that blew up, and I feel like that might have been like, oh look, hey, we did the camera thing too. So a little bit lazy. I understand that it was entirely an accident, but I don't care. I want to be very clear here. Understand it was a mistake, or not even a mistake, but just like coincidence. But I will not forgive them, and I'm removing a star off this movie for that. Can I do that? Screw it, I'm doing it. 7 out of 15. You can't stop me. What are you, the critic now? No, leave it to the professionals. And by professionals, I mean high school graduate who works at McDonald's. Yeah, suck it. I'm a professional. If you have a problem with that, bring it up with my boss. I don't know how to end editor reviews either. God, I used to be so much better at this. So yeah, this our first episode of the season, Chance for Christmas, ends at 8 out of 15. Hopefully they get better. I don't anticipate them getting better. I don't know for sure what I'm watching next week. I have a rough idea of them in the next month. But let's just say it's not looking like it's gonna get better. And I am scared. I'm excited to return. I hope you guys are excited too. And maybe, just maybe, season 2 will be better. It can't be any worse, right? Hopefully. I'll see you guys next week. We'll be talking about a movie that starts with a B. I literally say that because I can't remember what movie we're watching. I have like 2 ideas in my head. If it's one of them, Jack's gonna be on with me. But I haven't asked Jack if he wants to be on with me yet. So, yeah. But summer blockbusters are back, right? So, hypothetically, we should be good. We should get some good, decent movies that aren't The Little Ghost, right? Season 2 can't go down. Oh, also before I go, I recorded like 5 episodes that just never came out, including We Can Be Heroes / The Sleepover. That was going to be like one double episode. SpongeBob, Sponge on the Run, Wonder Woman 84, and Once I Was a Beehive. I think there might have been a 5th. I don't know. I don't know if I have any of those footages saved. But if I do, you guys want to see them? Like, do you want me to put those out intermittently through this season? I'm honestly curious, because, like, I don't remember. I know I had issues with Once I Was a Beehive, feeling like the episode is too boring. But I think the other 3 just never came out because I never had time, and then, like, weeks and weeks passed, and I just kind of went, oh, I'm just going to go back to not doing this for a little bit. But, I don't remember. If you guys want to see them, I'll post them. And if you guys want to see them, and then I watch them back and go, I can't post that, I'll remake. I don't remember why I didn't post a Week in Be Heroes one now. But, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'll post it. I'll make it work. If you guys want to see them. If not, leave that in the comments too. Tell me what you want me to watch. And, please be kind. I don't care if you criticize the video at all, but just, like, don't make me watch A Little Ghost again, or Artemis Fowl. I want the season to be better, at least in content, maybe not in quality. But, you can follow us at X's Comics on Twitter and Instagram, at X's Comics Official on DeviantArt. I haven't posted anything there in longer than I've made a video, but, no, I mean, just engage, have fun, subscribe, hit the bell, I don't know. Well, here's 2 links to previous videos, probably, some of my favorites. Have a good one. Bye. Jesus, I don't know how to end these